What's up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here. We are back in a world that looks very similar to Minecraft, but it is not Minecraft. If you look closely, this kind of looks like a birch tree, but you know, I can actually remove the foliage from it. It looks very similar. I mean, the textures, if you've played Minecraft for any extent of time, you look at these trees and it feels like Minecraft, but it is not Minecraft. If you look at the user interface, you can kind of see that there is some stuff that's a little different. And if we look off in the distance, that's actually another planet. You can see it's actually rotating. It will actually move around us. Well, not around us. It'll move around its sun or orbital body that it is rotating. But that's an actual planet that's out there. And unlike Minecraft, you can actually go to that planet. Now, gravity is also substantially lower here, as you'll notice. I don't know if that's just because of the way this planet works or if that's the way all planets work. I'm still relatively new to the game. I've only got maybe 4 hours or so in the game. And I built that trying to actually escape the planet's velocity. But I did want to kind of show you guys what it looks like to be on a planet. Now, this game's called StarMade. It is in alpha testing right now. They do have a voting set up for Steam Greenlight. So if this is something that is interesting to you, as interesting as it is to me, then you'll want to head over there and vote for that. The link will be in the video description below and you can check that out. You'll notice that the sun is now rising. We get that nice little sun rising effect, and I'm assuming that's what all these planets are orbiting here. Now, the other cool thing, well, confusing thing, I guess, actually, if you're a Minecraft player, you're used to left-clicking to break and right-clicking to place. Well, it's reversed. Left-click places, right-click breaks. And at the moment, I don't know if this is planned, but at the moment, right-clicking, you can basically just mine as fast as you can mine by just simply clicking on anything and everything. So you can mine pretty quick, which is kind of a quirky thing, because for me, I like Care Bearing it up, I like mining, I like farming, etc., etc. And for me personally, it's kind of odd that it seems like I can mine significantly faster if I actually get out of my ship and mine than I can by using any laser systems. But I am still new to the game, so odds are I probably haven't got it all figured out right. Now, this ugly looking thing that looks like it just fell out of the sky and landed here, pretty much did just fall out of the sky. This is my mining ship that I've been testing around with. It's terrible. I do not recommend reproducing this thing. It's ugly, and it does a decent job at doing what I want it to do, but not the greatest. Now, just like I said, this is how I would mine if I were to come down here. You're going to notice down here on my hotbar, we've got wood, we've got some foliage, we've got some dirt, some rocks. But these right here, platanium, is that platanium? Plextanium, octogen, quantogen, and grass flowers. Those are the mineral types. Think of those like iron or, I don't know, tin, copper, etc., from Minecraft. Those are the minerals that you actually want. They're the rare types. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get back in my ship real quick. We're going to go ahead and enter the ship, and I'm going to attempt to take off. Let me get out of... Oh. Come on. There we go. Now we're moving. Okay. Let's go ahead and stop us. And we'll try and remember how to rotate. There we go. Now, you're going to notice this planet is flat. Now, this is by choice. Right now, the game developer, Schema, I'm probably butchering that. He's wanted to make them flat for now because it makes it very easy to see which direction is up, which direction is down. Now, I am flying a incredibly bloated ship. Like I said, it is a mining ship. So you notice that I'm actually turning my mouse as hard as I can. It's very, very slow. So ships do have mass, very similar to like they would in reality. I don't, you know, obviously it's probably not perfect physics model, but it's pretty good. And you guys remember when I came down, my ship actually kind of clunked over, and I'm going to endeavor to show that again. Show the physics engine. Let's see. Oh. Got to be careful because there is gravity as you get closer to a planet, and it can kind of mess with you. All right, let's see if we can land a little bit, just kind of slowly. Okay, So we're now, one of my blades, one of my 4 blades is now actually touching the planet. I'm going to hop out real quick. And you can see it actually falls down. So it does have a physics engine. It may not be quite perfect yet. I don't think you can actually drop dirt or sand or anything along those lines. But if something's going to come down and you get it close enough to a planet, it is going to crash. So something to keep in mind. And you cannot manage to get escape velocity by simply, whoa, oh god. All right, let's get some height. You can't get escape velocity by just jumping. You are going to need a ship to get off one of these things because you just physically don't have the ability to quite get off. All right, so we are now in space. I'm going to get us a little bit of distance from the planet so I can show you a couple other features. We'll get a little bit more distance. All right, now you're going to notice it's swapped. It swapped setups. Now, if we stand perfectly still, you notice that the planet is moving. It is now moving away from us, and it's also rotating. Now, I don't know if that's actual rotation or if it just appears to rotate. Either way, it's pretty damn cool. And a lot of the other planets that are out here, if I can find one of them here in my slow boat, these all move and rotate as well. Now, the other thing that you got to be careful with is these planets look a lot closer than they actually are sometimes. And the way StarMade handles zone borders, or I guess you could think of it like Minecraft chunks, is they're significantly bigger, obviously, than a Minecraft chunk. But they, every time you enter a new quote-unquote sector, it redraws things. So when and now I can't find this damn planet. Where did the damn planet go? There's the little asteroids. There's the star. Are we falling into the planet now? There it is. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately this thing turns slow as hell, so it's kind of hard. Now, like I said, the planets are currently, and we've zoned back in to where we can see the planet, and we're now being affected by the atmosphere. They are flat, which means if you are a spaceship, you can basically come down and kind of strip mine one of these things from the back. Now I want to show you guys what my plane looks like, or my ship looks like. This is the setup that I've got right now. Now obviously it's ugly and I have absolutely no hull on this thing. If I were to get into a fight with this thing, basically my intestines and all my insides are on the outside and it would be very bad. Ideally, I would try and make this thing a little bit more secure by putting hull plating on the outside and maybe shields, etc., and that would allow me a little bit more survivability. But since I'm just doing mining testing, I just wanted to see, you know, what would happen if I put on a ton of harvesters, a ton of energy, and a lot of engines. And you'll notice down here in the bottom, I've got my hit points on the left. This is like my structural integrity. As this is reduced, your ship can actually go, your core, think of it like your warp core if you're a Star Trek fan. Once this hit points hits low enough, your core explodes. And then if somebody were to kill you, basically your core has like, I think it's a 3-minute meltdown. So once you're killed, your ship just kind of hovers there. You're gone. You're moved on. But whoever took you out has 3 minutes or so to loot your ship, and whatever is survived or has made it through will actually be destroyed at that explosion time. So you've got like 3 minutes to loot the ship, and some of these ships are going to be big. So you got to be careful with, you know, if like you take out like a dreadnought or something giant, then it might take a while. The other thing is, unlike Minecraft, where like in Minecraft, if I kill you, I may damage your armor, but usually the armor doesn't break, and when I kill you, your armor explodes and falls out. In combat with spaceships, you know, everybody's covered in hull usually, which this isn't, and I can't really demonstrate it unfortunately, but your hull's kind of like armor, and once the hull peels back and your shields are gone, you actually are shooting these little conduits and such, and that can actually knock systems offline. So if, you know, you are fighting a ship and you just want to disable them, you can actually shoot the weapons off the ship. You can damage the engines so that they can't run away, and then you can, you know, you can kind of board them. And some of these ships, not this one obviously, but some ships actually have an interior. So you can actually board the ship interior. Now, at the moment, like I said, it's alpha, so a lot of these features are not currently enabled or complete. But eventually, you know, I can see you attacking like a giant, like the Starship Enterprise. I know, I keep pulling out these Star Trek references. You're just going to have to deal with it. You board the Starship Enterprise, you've got your laser beams and your weapons and stuff. You try to take the bridge, etc., and you could do some pretty serious damage. Now, we're going to come down here, and you're going to see we've got all these different ore types. Now, I did design this ship to mine pretty quickly. It's still not as fast as I would like or as big as I would like, and I think I'm going to do some playing around with the symmetrical building mode. Basically, with the symmetrical building mode, you build one half of the structure and the other half builds automatically. Think of it like you were going to build a castle or a house in Minecraft. You build the left side and it mirrored what you built on the right side. Well, it has that functionality built in. Now with this, you can see I can mine a lot more than I could with my old setup. The drawback is it actually only mines what the lasers touch, and sometimes it can be kind of funky, and then the human eye can only track really one point at a time. So with 4 lasers like this, it probably wasn't one of my smarter engineering moments, but you can see it does kind of pull in quite a bit of stuff, and it's pretty quick. Now I can press I and you can see all the stuff that I've harvested. Now, like any other game, space game or whatnot, that you're mine and whatnot, it has a value. Now in Minecraft, everything that has a value, at least initially, there's no economy mods built into the game. So if you were to want to build an economy, you'd have to download Vault or Essentials or iConomy or, whatever, and you'd have to somehow set up an economy. Well, in this game, StarMade, they have an economy built into it. So we're going to go ahead and blast off here. Now this planet was a little bit far away from the last shop that I was at. I'm hoping there's another one nearby. And you're going to notice there's a lot of yellow. Here we go. This is where we want to go to. So we're going to set that. And there we go. So we're going to go ahead and blast off in this general direction. Now you're going to notice up at the top, it's going to show you a series of lists. We've got credits. That's on the top left. I've got 1.5 million because I went and robbed a space station. Spent a couple hours basically just strip mining the hell out of that. It actually kind of worked out pretty good for me. Oh. Kind of changed locations on us. I did want to show you some of these real quick on our way over. These are asteroids, and asteroids are very similar to planets, but smaller. And some of them can be very mineral dense. You're going to see there's a lot of nice looking minerals in this. I don't know what that black stuff is, but I'm hoping it's worth a lot of money. So you could come out here and you could actually set all of the, you could have a mining operation where, some of your guys in your faction or your team or whatnot would be out here mining up and getting the materials for your guild or your faction or your group, your clan, your band of brothers, whatever you want to call it. But you could actually use that to get your stuff going. And very similar to Tekkit, there are factories in this game. Now, I don't know how extensive the crafting is at the moment, but I do know that there are factories that you can make. They require power sources and things like that, and I think it's still fairly basic. But there is something that you can work towards. There is something that you'd be building, etc., etc. Now, I had another ship. I guess I didn't. I guess it's not at this location. This world is randomly generated and it is expansive. So as I get, let's say right now in the top center of my screen up here, you're going to see it says sector -5512. That's my current location. Think of that as the XY coordinates in Minecraft. Well, let's say my buddy is in a different sector. Let's say he's in 111 and I want to find my way to get there. Well, I click on this. Here, I'll walk you through it. You press N as in Nancy. And this is going to show you all of the stuff that's nearby you. I've got all these asteroids, I've got my ship, we've got the shop that we're nearby, and it looks like that's it. Well, if I click on waypoint up here, I can do 1, 1, 1, click OK. And what that's going to do is that's going to enable a waypoint, and if you look up here, I now have a blinking arrow that's going to point me there. Now, unlike in Minecraft, where you might get a straight line vector here, this is going to take me to the next available chunk, which, like you guys have seen, they can be kind of jarring transitions sometimes. They're not necessarily straight lines. So That is the next point en route to that point, is -5, 5, 11. So I'd go there, and then that would make a new waypoint, and then a new waypoint, and then a new waypoint. So you can actually go out here and explore, find your area, and then you can tell your guild mates or your clan mates or your faction members where you are, and they can come find you. One other thing I want to show you guys before I show you the economy is factions are already built into the game. So we have our own little guild here. If we come down here to I think it's Faction Hub. Yeah, Faction Hub. You can see all of the other factions that are in the game. Trading Guild is a guild of NPCs. They simply run around and trade resources. Pirates is the Pirate Guild. They just run around and attack people and try and loot and steal and whatnot. Redline Caravans, that's actually another faction's setup. Now at the moment, we don't have a home. I don't know how homes are claimed. I don't know if that's something that's even supported at the moment. I believe we can go and set up like a space station or something and set that as our home, and then I can set a spawn spot there, and very similar to a faction home in Minecraft, you can end up there and you can set your stuff up. There are roles that you can do. With roles, you can actually set up ranks and such. You can change the way the ranks are. You can kick people out. It's actually a fairly decent system for an alpha. I'm not sure what relationship offers are. I'm pretty sure that's like friend or foe. News, obviously, you can post your news for your faction mates. You can have a description, etc., etc. One of the other cool things here is the catalog. The catalog allows you to see other people's ships. Now at the moment there aren't any entries available, but as you encounter more ships from like pirates and such, or somebody might upload one of their ships in here, you can actually see a collection of ships. Then you can approach one of these shops, and you can actually, and I think that may be why we weren't able to see it actually, is we weren't close enough. Let's try that again. Let's go to catalog. No, still not. There was a ship I was buying earlier. I guess it's just available in certain regional hubs. Now, this is a shop right here. These are located sporadically throughout the game. They are, each of them has its own local economy. So just because this area may be sold out of something doesn't mean that another area is sold out of something. Not only that, but the prices can be different in different locations. So if, let's say, you know, one faction has a territory, you know, 12 sectors away, and they're buying a lot of hull, but they're out of hull, and your section has a lot more hull, you can actually buy your hull cheap in this section, bring it over there, and sell it to the shop, not even to other players, but just directly to the shop, and you can make money off of it. I don't know if there's player-to-player trading or not yet. I assume that's something that'll be put in later, and it may even be in the game now. Now, one other thing I want to show you guys, I am actually out of my ship now. I'm out floating around. Now this right here is what they call an, what do you call it? An undetonator, I think. Yeah, Plex undetonator. These right here are basically spawn spots. Think of them as beds, except they can't be destroyed, I don't believe, at least not here. If you shoot this thing, I believe something bad happens to you, like if you're familiar with Eve, Concord shows up to whoop your ass. I don't think anybody's done it yet, and I'm not sure how it goes down, but I did hear one of the developers say not to shoot one of these things. But let's say I want to make this place my home. I can come over here, press R, and boom, I will respawn here if I die. The other nice thing, or negative thing, depending on how you look at it, the inventory is, everything in my inventory right now would stay if I died. However, if this ship was blown up, I would not get anything on the ship. Now, I can strip this ship down and then kill myself, and then I will have everything my ship has. All these little building blocks would stay with me. So, you know, technically if you were in a fight, you could disassemble your ship quick enough, you could probably keep it, but it'd be pretty hard to do while being shot at. There is a vast array of weapon system. I've seen several different types of missiles, lasers, machine gun type looking things. A lot of cool setups. There is shields in the game. And then hull seems to be armored plating. Now let me show you guys how the buying works. You'll see in the upper right hand corner it says shop in range. I'm now in range of the shop. If I press B as in buy, I can see everything that this shop has to offer. So I can look at terrain. You see we've got ice, lava, rock, sand. These are basically earth like planet-like building structures. You've got all the minerals. These right here are different types of minerals. Like I said, think of iron, copper, diamond, etc., etc. You use these in some of the factories to craft. Manufacturing, like I said, these are some other parts that you may or may not need to build some later stuff. These are the factories that I was telling you about. You can see that we've got factories in stock here, so you can actually take those and do certain things and run certain processes. Not very familiar with that, so I couldn't really go into too much detail. These are ship parts. Right here, this is the ship starter core, I believe. That is like the main database or the main mainframe of your computer. You need that for your ship regardless. If you don't have one of these, you do not have a ship. If this gets destroyed, you lose your ship. So, gotta have one of these. Unfortunately, there aren't any here. So if I need to make another ship, I'm kind of screwed. Thankfully, I've got one in my other ship. If I don't like that, I can just disassemble it and remake the ship completely. Now, we've got the weapons systems. Obviously, if you're going to have weapons, you need to have a weapons computer. These are the different. This is an antimatter cannon. I believe there's a missile CPU, missile arrays, different types of SB missiles. We've got a disintegrator. We've got a cloaking device, radar jammers, engines, shields, cockpits, just tons and tons of different setups and tons of different ways to completely customize your ship. And then up here, I think we've got the hulls. Yeah, with the hulls, you can actually set things up in very interesting ways. And I want to show you guys this real quick with these two things here in just a second. You actually have non-square shapes, so you can actually make some pretty cool looking ships. Not like my big square X piece of crap. Now you guys are going to remember I had all of this stuff down here. Well, if I drag this stuff up here and drop it, it's going to tell me how much the base price is and how much I would get for it. So for 78 dirt, I'm going to make 78 credits at 1 credit a piece. So you can see that dirt isn't all that much. Foliage, surprisingly, actually worth a little bit. So going and stripping a bunch of trees might actually be worth your time. Wood, medium. Rock, again, really crappy. Now these are going to be some of the minerals. Plextanium, 940. So it's got a base price of 10. That's a fairly common element apparently, so not a whole lot. What about oxygen? Oxygen's 10. Wow, quantigen is 10. So basically I was making more for the trees and the leaves off of that place than I was off of the actual ore types, which is kind of a bummer. Now I'm curious about this stuff, so we're going to bring this stuff down here so we can sell. Oh, drop here to sell. Oh, well, that's a bummer. My purple rocks aren't worth anything. That really hurts me on the inside. So you can see that some of the stuff has a decent value, some of it doesn't. I believe there are ways for me to process these materials and make some better stuff. I'm just not aware of how to do it yet. So as I figure that stuff out, and if there is demand on the channel, then we will play some more of this. Okay, now I wanted to show you guys the shipbuilding mode. We're going to come back over here to our ship, and we're going to go ahead and enter the ship core. Now you can enter the salvage computer if you want. Now this is a really cool factor. Let's say I wanted to set up a turret. So let's say I set up a bank of guns here, and then I set up a weapons computer. You could actually get into that as another player. So right here, this is actually the ship. See right here we can move around. That's the top part. I'm going to stop us. Well, down here is the salvage computer. And this is its own separate thing. Now, hang on one second. I'm pretty sure it won't hit the thing, but I want to make sure. We're going to step off just a bit and stop. Okay. Hop out. Now, you see right here, the lasers go where my mouse cursor is, regardless of where I'm facing. So I could put that on a different side, and you could actually run a capital ship this way with your whole faction. So you could have this big badass capital ship with all of these different turret hard points and, you know, 50 people in it shooting in all these different directions. And you could just have some massive Battlestar Galactica type engagements, and it's just ridiculous. I saw some of the missiles. They have some really cool looking contrails. It's definitely something that's interesting. But we're going to go ahead and get back in the flight mode, and I'm going to hit spacebar. And what spacebar does is it puts me in this building mode. Now this right here, I am still inside my ship. This is just a free camera that's moving around. And you can see here this little arrow that's pointing, that shows the direction that my ship is actually pointed in. That way I don't actually accidentally build in this direction with thinking this is the front, and then when I get into it I'm driving sideways. So at least this way you can see it. But I wanted to show you guys these parts. And you can see how these would allow you to make some different types. Well, obviously that's a very terrible position for that. Whoops. We could come up here, maybe put it on the back down here. It might look a little better. Whoops. Not what I meant to do. There we go. So you can put it on the back and that would look a little bit better if, you know, obviously if I surrounded the entire ship. So these different types of block platforms allow you to make a ship that looks a little bit better than just, you know, this nasty square block. And there's quite a lot of nice ships that are already out on YouTube. I plan on actually... Space is actually something, for whatever reason, unlike building a structure, is something that I'm actually interested in and something I'm down for. So I'm probably going to make a couple really cool looking large capital ships from some of my more interesting sci-fi series. So let me know what you guys think about this. We do have a server going right now. I think it's only 2 of us on, but the server can hold 35 people. If you'd like to connect, this game is currently free while it's in alpha mode. So you can also buy the game for $3. There is no difference, as far as I know, between a free version and a paid-for version, but obviously as development proceeds, eventually there will be a difference. And so you can get the game now for $3, and it's kind of like buying Minecraft early for $3. I am planning on buying several licenses of the game later this week, and I will give them away on the stream. So if you don't have $3 and you'd like a full retail version of the game when it does go retail, then definitely watch the stream this week. So let me know if you guys would like to see some more of this on the channel. I think it's a lot of fun. I think I'd enjoy doing this game, and I think with like 40 or 50 people on a server, maybe 100, it could be a lot of fun. Very similar to a faction server, and I think it could get absolutely crazy. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Hopefully you guys like this. If you did, please slap that like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.